They were young, in love, and full of promise, a teenage couple from the quiet Montana plains. One a high school honors student, the other an Air Force airman. In January of 1956, Lloyd Dwayne Bogle and Patricia Kalitzk vanished. Their bodies would be found just miles apart, executed, and left in the cold winter silence. No witnesses, no confessions, no answers. For 65 years, the mystery haunted Great Falls, until a single hair and a new kind of science cracked the case wide open. This is the story of Lloyd and Patricia, and the killer who thought he got away. Great Falls, Montana, 1956, a modest, close-knit town, nestled near the Missouri River, where days passed quietly, and people knew their neighbors. It was here that Lloyd Dwayne Bogle, 18 years old, found himself stationed at Malmstrom Air Force Base. Tall, bright, and disciplined, Lloyd was a Texas native, proud of his service and known for his polite, well-mannered charm. Not far away, Patricia Kalitzk, Patty to her friends, was 16, a junior at Great Falls High School. She was intelligent, ambitious, and headstrong, known for her striking looks and confident personality. Patricia loved horses, literature, and had dreams of becoming a lawyer. Their worlds collided in the way they often do in stories like this, through small-town dances and gatherings, where a young airman might catch the eye of a local girl. They were inseparable, young love, the kind you remember forever. But no one expected their story to end so suddenly, so brutally. It was Monday, January 2nd, 1956. It was a cold day, even by Montana standards. That afternoon, Lloyd picked Patricia up in his blue 1951 Buick. The couple had plans. Nothing out of the ordinary, just a drive through the countryside, and some time together. Eyewitnesses later recalled seeing them around 6 p.m., laughing and smiling. That was the last time anyone saw them. 2 days later, on January 4th, a rancher discovered Lloyd's body. He was lying face down near his Buick, parked by a local lover's lane. He had been bound with his own belt and shot in the back of the head execution style. The car's engine was still running. Just a day later, Patricia's body was found some 5 miles away. She, too, had been shot, raped, and killed. Her body discarded in the snow. The town was rocked. 2 promising young lives gone. Police chased down dozens of leads in the early days after the murders. The entire town of Great Falls was on edge. Every stranger was suspicious, every rumor a potential clue. In the days following the murders, suspicion fell quickly on drifters passing through town, young men with troubled histories, and even fellow airmen stationed at Malmstrom Air Force Base. But what made the case so elusive wasn't just the list of possible suspects. It was the absence of 2 critical things: usable evidence and someone willing to talk. In 1956, forensic science was primitive. DNA testing, as we know it today, didn't exist. But the Cascade County Coroner's Office had the foresight to preserve biological evidence, including a semen sample recovered from Patricia Kalitzk's body. It was labeled and stored for decades. At the time, though, this evidence couldn't identify anyone. It was just a biological mystery, shelved with the rest of the case file. Investigators knew it mattered. They just didn't have the tools to use it. It wouldn't become useful for over 60 years. Several witnesses came forward in the days after the murders. Some remembered seeing Lloyd's car parked at a popular lover's lane the night of January 2nd. A few neighbors recalled hearing a loud sound, possibly a gunshot, but no one saw the killer. And yet, some unsettling rumors began to surface. A few locals recalled that a man named Kenneth Good, a quiet horse trainer who lived nearby, had taken an unusual interest in Patricia. He wasn't close with her. He wasn't on police radar at first. But something about his sudden disappearance, not long after the murders, felt off. Good moved out of state within weeks, taking his family with him, and left virtually no trail. Police took notes. But without physical evidence or a confession, and with only circumstantial gossip, he wasn't the only one. One suspect was a fellow airman at Malmstrom who'd reportedly argued with Lloyd over a woman. Another was a convicted sexual predator who'd been seen hitchhiking through Montana. Both were investigated and ultimately ruled out. Dead ends, again and again. The crime had all the signs of being personal, intimate, yet nothing led to a solid motive. And no one could be tied to the preserved evidence. For decades, the Bogle-Calitz case was a haunting presence in Great Falls. Detectives would revisit the case every few years, combing through old evidence files. But the technology of the time couldn't yield results. DNA testing didn't exist in the 1950s. Witness memories faded, suspects aged, some died. The original investigators retired. Some passed away. Eventually, the case box was shelved. Then, something changed in 2019. In 2019, Cascade County detectives partnered with Bode Technology, a private lab specializing in forensic genealogy. The same method that had helped catch the Golden State Killer just a year earlier. The lab re-examined biological evidence preserved from Patricia's autopsy, including a semen sample recovered from her body. Using cutting-edge techniques, Bode was able to extract a partial DNA profile. But the real breakthrough was forensic genealogy. This process involves uploading an unknown suspect's DNA into public genealogy databases, places like GEDmatch, and searching for distant relatives by reverse engineering a family tree. Investigators can narrow down suspects with shocking precision. By 2021, after constructing complex family lines and cross-referencing historical records, they had a match. Kenneth Good, the same horse trainer. Good had died in 2007. He was cremated, so there would be no fresh DNA to test. But detectives found close family members, and their DNA confirmed the match with 99.99% certainty. Kenneth Good lived the rest of his life under the radar. After the murders, he moved to Missouri, got married, raised children. He never faced justice, he never confessed, and no charges were ever brought against him. Detectives believe the motive was likely sexual in nature. Patricia was raped, and Lloyd was executed first, suggesting the killer may have eliminated him to get to her. Patricia was murdered soon after, possibly to silence her as a witness. But without a confession, the true motive will never be known. After 65 years, the case was finally closed. The killer had a name, and the families had answers, even if they came without explanation. If you found this story moving, haunting, or simply unforgettable, consider subscribing. We tell the stories that history tried to forget and shine a light into the coldest corners of time.